Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Lester Smalls, and you're live with us at the Community Collaborative, our first podcast on the Community Collaborative page on Facebook. And we're thankful today. We are thankful today to be able to do what God gave us to do in the community. And we are thankful today as we gather here with one of our utmost servants in the community, and that is the State Representative William Bill CLYBURN. And I'm excited about talking to Coach CLYBURN, as I like to call him, because he was one of our nurturers, our teachers, our coach, and certainly an example to us, especially us young guys coming up. We even learned how to dress by watching how they dressed, and they took us under their wing, not only in the classroom, but in our social life and everywhere. They nurtured us. So we are thankful to have this servant who is still serving and been serving for a long time. And today we just want to have a discussion as a student and a teacher from down through the years in the 70s at Martha Schofield and on to Aiken High and other institutions of education. And we just want to talk today because we want to remind everybody just how important Representative CLYBURN's work in the community is to everyone. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Reverend Smalls. I'm so excited being here. I just appreciate you so much, like so many people do, and thank you for having me here.
Well, we're so glad to have you. Certainly, it's always good to talk with you, and as I talk about the way we've come down through the road through the years, we're not unfamiliar with each other.
Absolutely not. I tell you, it's been such an enjoyable life. I tell you, my first job was at Schofield High School, my first professional job, I should say. And the experience back then was just absolutely amazing. And we had people like you, Reverend Smalls, believe it or not, you and Rudolph Hall, and Rudolph Bryant, Bobby Moore, and all those guys.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I just appreciate what you all did for me. I mean, I think you were even more help to me than I was to you all. I'm from a large family, a first graduate, first generation graduate from my family. And I've always had a compassion because I am from a large family. And so coaching was my thing, just working with people and enjoy working with young people. And it was people like you, who was just such a great track star. You never say anything about that. You should talk about that too. And the leadership in the community, and you grew up to be such a strong activist. And I appreciate that because I think our jobs just sort of coordinate with each other. You're an activist, and I'm an elected official. They both can be used interchangeably, but I wish everybody would work together like you and I and those who taught me a whole lot.
Well, we thank you for being here, Coach, and we are just thankful for all that you do and continue to do, and we know that it's another time that we are vying for another term in office. And
that's great.
If someone asked me what we wanted to get out of this discussion today, we want to remind some and enlighten others just how much you've done in the community from that capacity in the state legislature. And so I want to start today with first just asking you, what does being a public servant mean to you, and why did you choose that path of life?
Wow. Reverend Smalls, it was a long time desire to help people. And I'm from a community that didn't have very much, from a family that, that was living in poverty. I'm from the cotton fields. I'm not ashamed to say it, and we had to do that for a living. And from a child, I just wanted to do things to help others.
Right.
Back during then, when we will use hogs for feed, when we would kill hogs. We were divided with people in the neighborhood.
Right.
And I grew up that way, and I always wanted to do things that I thought was beneficial to society. And so one of the best ways to have done that, as I thought, was to be a part of a committee or part of the community. And I went to college on a scholarship, on a football scholarship. I knew nothing about scholarships or college. But because I could run and jump and had a lot of speed, I received a scholarship and worked with young people. And since that time, all I wanted to do was work with young women and men to help them have a better life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. How many years have you been serving? How long have you been in that capacity?
Well, believe it or not, and these not just words, for 50 years. For 50 years. I was elected in 1973 as an Aiken City Council person. I was the first African-American elected to Aiken City Council back in 1973. And you know what? It was done by athletes. I had athletes, across color lines, and we didn't know anything about party lines. They just worked with me and for me, and parents were saying if I could make their boys cut their hair and get them up on Saturday mornings, the campaign, that they want to support me. And I was elected back in 1973 as a city council. And 8 years after that, I was elected to county council. And then Workers' Comp Commission, I was appointed to South Carolina Workers' Comp Commission by Governor Raleigh and also by Governor Campbell. And so, I've been in the General Assembly. I've been in the General Assembly for 29 years now.
Okay.
And, that's a long time, but I feel like I have much more to give to my community and to give to the next generation.
Yes, well, your service certainly evolved over the years and certainly been a benefit to the community. What are some of the committees you serve on? I think one thing that would be helpful, people need to really understand the inner workings of what you do as with regards to the committees you work on and how these committees impact the community through your work.
Thank you. That's a great question. First of all, let me just say I am a state legislator. My job is to make laws and to get feedback from my community and try to put in place laws that impact their lives.
Right.
And I represent District 82, which includes Aiken, Edgefield, and Saluda County. And I sit on Ways and Means. That is a committee that handles all of the funds, all the monies in South Carolina is generated through Ways and Means.
Gotcha.
And I'm very fortunate to be on that committee. And it took a long time. Everybody wants to be on Ways and Means committees for a lot of reasons because they want to make sure that they take care of home, take care of their districts. And so I sit on Ways and Means, and I always keep my district in mind, and I always want to help others too, wherever is needed, whether it's in my district or not. And so our responsibility is to look at the budget, to make sure we have a balanced budget, and to make sure funds are allocated to agencies like DHEC and the Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Social Services. Those agencies receive funds from Ways and Means, and I'm fortunate to be a part of that small group who makes that decision of how those monies are spent.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Some examples, could you share some of the things you may have supported in Aiken County?
Okay. Well, Number one, I've always supported the educational system.
Right.
And the way we do it and the way I've done it, I've been a strong advocate of teachers' pay increase, because I think if we can get the teachers motivated enough to stay in South Carolina, the retention is very important. Mm-hmm. And so I've been an advocate to make sure that the salaries increase. And we've gone, since I've been in, from a minimum teacher's wage, teacher's pay from $32,000 to now we're like 48 and above.
Awesome.
And we want to keep on working with that, because that's where it's all started, Rev. Mm-hmm. It's training the minds.
Gotcha.
And so I've supported bills that have advocated quality education. I believe very strongly that we ought to have economic development in throughout the state, throughout the country, really. And so I advocate jobs, because I believe very strongly that if a man has a job, he will take care of his family and he will have a better life for his family. Mm-hmm. And I believe in that. So one of the main bills that I'm proud of is that it's called the Rural Infrastructure Authority, RIA. Mm-hmm. I am the primary author of that bill, and we started off with approximately $18,000. Okay. $18,000, and there was a point when we had rescue funds that the governor put more than $500 million into it, and its purpose was to make sure that bridges and roads were taken care of in cities, counties, and state roads, and to work with infrastructure, pipes and underground structures that will be inviting for industry to come in, and jobs were created.
Right. So certainly, you have infused necessary resources into the community in many ways. Yeah.
Yes, and those are some of the bigger ways, and other ways too is that I've had a big interest in recreation parks and recreation, and make sure that young people had a place to enjoy themselves, and for families to go out. And I've also helped organizations.
Gotcha.
That was good for the community, who got out and worked for the community. Mm-hmm. And I've always believed in communicating with community leaders and local officials to find out what their thoughts were and some of the things that I needed to do to help. I believe that health is a right. I mean, people have to feel good. It's nothing like being ill or being sick.
Right.
And you have good, hard-working men and women who cannot keep up with the health expense. And so I've always been a strong advocate of that, and it's worked out pretty good. I've had some impact, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, well, we certainly, know that you've done quite a bit in this area in so many ways, and it's important that it continues. It's important that it continues without question. How long generally does it take for one to become a member of the Ways and Means Committee? That seems to be a pretty important committee there. How long does it normally take?
Well, it's not a particular set time. Mm-hmm. I think everybody up there knows that not only longevity, but you have to be well respected, and you have to have and demonstrate an interest in making sure that the state is well taken care of. Mm-hmm. And so to answer your question directly, sometimes people be up there 20 years before they can get on Ways and Means. Mm-hmm. But normally, if you are good and show good potentials, then you can possibly get on Ways and Means in 8 years. But it's going to take at least 3 to 4 terms to get on Ways and Means.
Yeah. Are there any other bills that I know you've done a lot of stuff for District 82. What do you think, you may have already shared this with us, what bills you think impacted the community the most? Which ones were closest to your heart?
Well, it's really education. It's really putting counselors in every school.
Gotcha.
I just think young people need counseling, and counseling are very helpful. My wife is a counselor, and of course she's had a great deal on the importance of counseling. I feel, uplifted by that most of all, because then I know that a child has an opportunity to express their feelings to someone who may understand.
Right.
And you have that feeling that the child is going to be found where they are.
Right.
And you got to meet them where they are.
Gotcha.
And sometimes a young person just needs counseling. Sometimes 1-on-1 and 2-on-2, and with their parents. I believe that we all have counseling in the home. That's not directly affiliated with the school, but counseling who goes into a home and talk with parents and to make sure that parents understand the difficulty that their child may or may not be having, and coordinated with the schools, of course. And so, yes, I believe in that, and I also believe in bringing in industries, and I've had a pretty good influence on economic development by working with people like Will Williams, who is the executive director for Aiken Edgefield Economic Development Commission. To be honest with you, Reb, in fact, I was I was the originator of Aiken Edgefield Economic Development. When Carol Warner was chairman, and in Aiken of County Council, and I sit on County Council. And of course, right now it is very big, and it brings in a lot of industries, and industry will continue to come into Aiken because we have the infrastructure for them now.
We just, experienced a Memorial Day. We just celebrated Memorial Day. In what ways, with regard to veterans, I know you work hard in that area too. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's just amazing the contributions that veterans have made for this country, and nothing is more important than making the sacrifice to keep a strong democracy and to set a path for our young people and generations to come. My father fought in World War One. Yeah, my father was in World War One, and my oldest brother was in World War II. And one of my twin brothers was in the Korean conflict. And so I have a lot of respect for veterans. I participate in their programs. I work with local posts. The veteran post that we have right here in Aiken, Post 212. I'm familiar with their members. I participate in their programs. In Edgefield, Post 222, the commander up there and I are very involved with making things better for veterans up there. And funds have been allocated for facilities, and they have some of the best facilities you would want to find. And so I think that is great, and I feel like I've been a part of that.
Yeah. And that's awesome. That's awesome, Coach. What are some of the things you want to see going forward, with regards to your impact? And, as you always do, your heart is in the community, and you have a nose for the need of the people. And that's all people. You're certainly a mediator and a moderator of great things in the community. What would you like to see going forward?
Well, Reverend Smalls, I think you know this better than most by being an activist, and not only an activist, but a pastor. You just want to see people in the community respecting each other and assisting in whatever way they can. And I would like to see local officials be more involved with the community, door-to-door kinds of things. I've had discussion with the chief of police, with the sheriff department, and it's a good communication kind of setting when you can sit and talk with them and let them know how you feel and how the folks in the community feel. And so I would like to see that continue. I would like to see those who are in need be given more attention and more quickly.
Okay, well, that is awesome. I tell you. Let's talk about open carry. What are your thoughts on that open carry law? And in terms of gun safety and gun control, and I want to share that we grew up in a nation that was made great by understanding, studying, evaluating. The more we're familiar with anything, the more we have respect for that which we are seeking to learn about. For some reason, with the gun laws, it's like everybody gets a gun. And for some reason, the opposition to having more gun laws is really extreme because, when people are more familiar with a gun, with weaponry, it totally, overall, there is a place of respect you get with guns, and you have an appreciation for the danger of them. Because one thing I want to share, that every time the trigger of a gun is pulled, something is damaged. You cannot shoot a gun without damaging something in a bullet going through it. Because whether it's for a necessary purpose, whether it's for hunting, a gun, when a bullet is ejected from a gun, that bullet is going to do some damage somewhere. And I think if we developed a stronger awareness through education and training, I think there would be more respect for owning a weapon and more awareness of the danger of carrying a weapon and certainly knowing how to manage it and use it responsibly.
Well, I tell you, Rev, no one can say it much better than that. I mean, that's just the way it is. There need to be an education awakening on that. I think it needs to be clear that most people that I come in contact with believe in the Second Amendment.
Right.
They don't mind having protection in their homes.
Right.
But the open carry, without having a permit to carry or any training, has been very disturbing for many people, although it passed into law. I tell you, it's just something that we're going to have to continue to work on and to work with. I believe that the more we can talk to our people, young people, we can come up with a better environment for people to respect guns.
Right.
It's inextricable. You cannot separate education, awareness, of course, from good behavior and obeying the law and having having a good environment where people are protected,
right,
and where people are trained. I think that will save a lot of lives. And if people are not well enough, show signs of not being well enough to carry the guns. That is one factor that we certainly have to keep involved and certainly have to make sure that it takes place.
Mm-hmm.
To answer your question directly, a lot of people are concerned about the open carry, and I am too.
Right.
And I'm definitely against not having training or having a permit to carry.
Yeah, yeah, I understand, certainly, and we hope we can make some inroads on that particular topic as we go forward in the future.
And you're having more input from the community on it, especially those from the religious sector and public safety. Just making sure that we continue to get input from those categories will certainly help on how the open carry will be handled in the same way.
Yeah. Given the state of polarization in our nation, how important is it if you would tell someone why we should vote? And, because if we can get the vote out, we can change some things for the good of the nation. With the polarization we're dealing with now, what would you say to the people in that regard?
Well, if you really want to be a first-class citizen, you need to be a voter.
Gotcha.
Because
Gotcha.
that vote will determine on what impacts your life.
Right.
And so no one is going to harm you. Now we've moved in a better place, in a better time. So it's really safe to take a few minutes and register and take a few minutes and go and vote. You cannot be too concerned about demonstrating or making a lot of noise or being upset if you're not a voter.
Right.
Because whatever happens to you out there, it's really based on your vote. And so you vote, and normally you will vote for those who you believe have your best interest in mind. Oh, it is just so important that we be voters. And I hope pastors, elected officials, community leaders, sororities, fraternities, all organizations, I think you ought to emphasize the importance to your members, how important it is to vote. And I think young people that's coming up in the next generation will appreciate you being a registered voter and voting in the activities that's good for them.
Got you. Well, in your own words, tell us how important it is for you to continue to work for the community.
Well, Brother Smalls, let me just say this to you. I've been up there a long time, but sometimes you have to be in a place a long time to get things done what you want to be done. I have advocated for things that's good for the community, and I need to be there to make sure it's carried out. And I think those who know me and who've dealt with me in the past, like yourself and like others, they know that I'm truthful. They know I'm sincere about what I'm doing, and they know that I'm not going to mislead. I'm going to be trustworthy, and I'm going to continue to make life a little better for all.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, we are thankful for this moment, and we certainly are going to do all we can to continue that journey, because it's certainly needed, and you have certainly served District 82 in a tremendous way, with dignity, with humility, and even in this moment, you prefer to look ahead than to look right or left when others try to say you're not who you are, you see. So we thank you for your service, your your work, and we are looking forward to you continuing to serve in District 82 in the South Carolina Legislature. Any final words? Anything you want to share right now?
Well, no, I feel blessed that I've been associated with you. I thank you for the contributions that you are making. I thank you for your assistance in the community through the years with organizations that you've had and the impact that it's had on us. I appreciate that. I just want to continue to. I still think I have a lot left to offer, and I think that people believe that I will be committed to them as I've always been.
All right. Well, I tell you, we think so too, Coach. And again, we thank you for joining us on this day. And certainly we are going to continue to look forward to moving forward together. And so there you have it, folk. This is Reverend Lester Smalls with the Honorable William Bill CLYBURN. And we are looking forward to keeping him in position at District 82, serving as diligently as with the integrity, with the love and concern and humility that he has done all these many years. So we look for you to go out and vote, continue to hold the line in the things that are good for not only the community, but for the entire city, state, and nation. Thank you for joining us. God bless you.